What's a good word, everyone? It's your boy DKB here. I just want to say thanks for all the support. The channel's been steadily growing, and the number you see below, you can drop a text, shoot a voicemail, any ideas, topics, collabs, etc. you guys want to see. I'll include them in future videos and live streams, and I'll catch you again. Be easy. What's the good word, Jets fans? It's your boy DKB here, and we got a really interesting report that came from Jeremy Fowler as he broke down some of the biggest offseason moves, which included the draft, free agent signings, and any trades that would have been out there. And he talked to some executives, some coaches, and some scouting staff members. But for the New York Jets and how this relates to us, Mason Taylor ended up making that list, which was our tight end we drafted in the second round. And obviously, takes vary across the board. One player could be rated an entire round higher than other guys. Look at Malachi Corley, for example, where we had him ranked as, I think, the number 4 wide receiver in that draft class. And we've seen how the at least early parts of his career have taken off, but nonetheless, still important. So this was a veteran offensive coach specifically that was called out, and he put out there that he had Mason Taylor as his number 2 ranked tight end in this NFL draft, which is huge, right? Because objectively speaking, if you take a composite list of a lot of the rankings, or at least a lot of the analysis or scouting reports for Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren, you'll consistently hear that both of these guys in many other drafts would still be considered the top the top tight end in that particular draft. So to see that Mason Taylor is not too far off from that, and in fact is ranked higher in this offensive mind's case, higher than Tyler Warren in this example. So he had Colston Loveland ranked number 1, Mason Taylor 2, Tyler Warren 3, is huge. I think it is a big piece of confidence booster, if nothing else, in Mason Taylor being our draft pick, especially considering we got him in the second round, where both Tyler and Loveland went in the first round still. So if it lives up to the billing, right? If Mason Taylor does hit the ground running as that pro right out of the gate, but also adapts to the NFL game pretty quickly, and has the chance, by the way, as maybe the third weapon immediately within this offense, if he retains his tight end 1 title within this offense, he could make good on that extremely quick, right? This veteran does also go on to mention that he's athletic, he's young, with Mason Taylor being 21, and he's got upside in the passing game. So we don't get further thoughts, but considering the breakdown that I did and just kind of overall what I've seen put out there on scouting reports, you have to imagine that people are betting on the upside. They're betting on what he did in terms of progressing in that LSU offense, especially with the new quarterback coming in Nussmeier and all that kind of stuff, and the weapons leaving. And they're betting on the upside and the potential more than maybe the day one ability as a starter. But I think clearly the needle for everything is moving up. And even within this offense, if you look at kind of expectations around Tanner Engstrand, but you also look at what Justin Fields has been able to do, where historically the numbers aren't great, but when it comes to targeting his tight ends, he's been one of the most effective passers in the NFL by far. And so that bodes well for Mason Taylor. You look at Cole Kmet, Pat Freiermuth being those 2 essential starting level tight ends that he's worked with. Cole Kmet has hovered around the top 10 in terms of rankings across the board since 2021 when Justin Fields would have came in. And then with Pat Freiermuth, he averaged almost 4 targets a game in the first 6 weeks where Justin Fields was quarterbacking, and was consistently involved, consistently able to go out there and produce with 2 touchdowns as well in that same span. But he was also targeted about 4 to 5 times on average in each of those games. So Justin Fields clearly knows how to utilize his safety blanket in that facet, and that in and of itself should do wonders, especially Mason Taylor's ability to excel versus zone coverage, which you hope you see more of, or at least can force defenses into based on how we deploy our weapons this year. But if nothing else, and I still have my mini camp recap and training camp preview to get into with Mason Taylor, this is is wonderful news as we go into the offseason, right? You continue to hear good things come out from this draft class, and with nothing really negatively coming out from the OTAs and from the offseason so far, it's just good times upon good times right now with being a Jets fan, if you believe in the hope and the hype of Aaron Glenn and Tanner Engstrand leading this team. So let me know what you guys ultimately think, though. Is this rubbish? Did we land Mason Taylor right where he should have been? Could this be considered a steal? Or do you still need to see what Mason Taylor actually looks like before you consider him a true tight end 1 caliber player? And I'll catch you guys again. Peace.